Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Volunteer Talks. Today I've got Becki, and Becki is from Small Steps in Oxford. Becki, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
How are you? Was it afternoon?
Yeah,
That's afternoon.
thank you.
I've done wrong.
Yeah, I just went with you. I was gonna cover for you.
More for me. How are you this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, doing really well, thank you. Doing really well. Thanks for asking. So thanks for jumping on. And I guess keen to sort of really get some insights into Small Steps. Obviously, I've been following it for probably like a week or so. I mean, the bio on Instagram tells you everything that you need to kind of know, but obviously to try and get people some traffic to you guys and the great work that you do. Can you give us sort of some insights into Small Steps, when it was set up, why it was set up in the first instance?
Yeah, absolutely. So the short answer is that we're a very new charity. We're a clothes and equipment resource for families in Oxfordshire to access, primarily families that are struggling financially and just need a bit of extra help, that it's kind of something they can dip into. And we started not very long ago at all, kind of autumn of last year.
Okay.
Throughout lockdown, we were able to get a unit in Templar Square, Cowley, a shopping unit. So we've got that downstairs, and then upstairs we've got a huge warehouse, which allowed us to have storage facilities and then run a shop as well. So that's amazing. So we opened kind of in lockdown, and then officially kind of in December opened to families.
Amazing. And I think, like I say, it's such I know we just spoke just briefly before we came on here, but you never really realise, I think, with children, you know, the growth patterns that they have. You know, in my head I was thinking it's 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3, but it's just so sporadic, I guess, with every child sort of different. So there must be so many phases that go with, you know, the early part of a child, especially obviously is the main growth early on. I guess this is obviously such a worthwhile setup sort of for that. What would a typical day look like for you then, Becki, when you're on site in Cowley?
Yeah, so I work 3 days a week coordinating Small Steps. So on Mondays we set that aside for referrals with families, and any families that are in need and need access to clothes or equipment, they can get in touch and we sort those all out on a Monday. At the moment we do that they'll come and collect from our shop unit, but we'll have put together the package beforehand. But outside of lockdown, we really love just allowing them to go around the shop. So they get to pick out, you know, and then they can say, oh, you know, they love this character in this film and here's a top with it on, I'll get that, or whatever. So that's a Monday. And then Wednesdays we open up for volunteers to come in and join us, sort through donations. Outside of lockdown, again, that's where we would usually take our clothes donations. And then Thursday, we hope to run as a shop, which allows us then to self-fund for the referrals.
Fantastic. No, that's absolutely super. And I guess, like I say, it's obviously been 3 days at the moment. I mean, is that just because the scenario that we're in, or is that literally, as a project coordinator yourself, is 3 days the sort of peak on where it needs to be, I guess, at the moment, based on what you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, for the moment, I think because we're still quite small, 3 days just makes sense. It allows us to do everything. Also, I'm still working part-time with other work, so it's just how it kind of worked out for us. But yeah, moving forward, if it grew a lot, obviously we'd just have to change to meet that, really.
Fantastic. And how many donations would you, I suppose, typically get? Well, it's so hard to say at the moment, obviously, in the situation that we're in, but I mean, is it coming in by, are they box loads, single items that people are dropping off? What are you sort of seeing at this stage?
We've had a huge amount of donations, which has been really amazing, and that's kind of, we've been able to sustain through lockdown because of that. But yeah, people will quite often clear out their house and they'll have years worth, and it's like you say, it's not 1 or 2 items, it's several categories per year of clothing that a child goes through, especially kind of 0 to 2. That's like every month they're in new clothing, so it's a lot, but that's great.
No, that's great, and I know you know, a lot of people seem to pass down, or I know a lot of people hold them, and I don't have children myself, but I know a lot of people put them in the loft, right? on the basis that
Yeah.
they might have another child and hoping it's the same sex or whatever, or they pass it on to their friends. But there must be so many people out there just think, I don't fancy having any more kids. What am I going to do with it? And I've spoken about a couple of times. But the convenience of these car park clothing banks are just, they're everywhere, right? And the thing is, I find with them is you don't really care the colour of it. You don't care what name's on it. It's you getting rid of it because you want it out of your possession, as opposed to you actually thinking about, well, is there a good cause on the other side of it? I mean, in the past, I've been guilty of, I don't want a black bin bag around, get rid of it, and off it goes. So I think sometimes it's just about perhaps people that will want to, align themselves, and it's not necessarily about donating money or volunteering and giving up time. It can be as simple as, finding some time when they're going into Oxford and, aligning with yourself for a drop-off. So I really hope that, people would want to look into this, especially as the amount of children that are out there, I suppose, parents that, have got little ones and, might not only be able to give, but be able to sort of take a bit as well, would obviously be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's I suppose coming on then to that? What would be the process? And I know it's obviously very difficult financially and all that's going on at the moment. If someone is struggling at this moment in time, Becki, how can they go about sort of getting I don't know, would you refer to it as a care package or a relief box? What do you kind of refer to that there as a small step?
Yeah, so we do two kind of options for people. So clothes packages, I generally call them, or like bags of joy. It's kind of what I think of them as. And so they're for kids kind of a year upwards until about 10 years. And we'll speak to families, work out what they need, whether it's, t-shirts, jeans, shoes, school uniform, whatever. Like, it's endless, isn't it? But and just cram as much as we have into those bags and give them to families. And then for newborns to a year, we've joined together with Oxford Baby Baskets. And for those, we're able to provide for expectant mums. We can give a Moses basket for their newborn to sleep in, kind of cot bedding, blankets, towels, toiletries for mum and baby, nappies, and then clothes, taking them all the way up to a year. So they are absolutely jam-packed with goodies, just so that when that mum leaves the hospital, they have what they need. No,
that's amazing. And like I say, I think it's so worthwhile. I think charity shops in general now, I think in general it's now such quite a big thing, and I've spoken about on previous episodes on here. It's I find with charities, it's who you align with, maybe based on past experiences within your family. One person might not be relevant to that, but it might be to this. And like I said, I think people after this, I know there's a convenience element to where you put your clothes, but I'll be following the sort of the journey, obviously bearing in mind you're in your infancy at the moment. It'd definitely be looking to sort of spread some awareness out there, because I think that you're doing a fantastic thing on the basis that you're working part-time, and on this is obviously a bit of a sort of side love as well.
Yeah, so then if families wanted to get in touch, you can self-refer if you're in any kind of financial difficulty, which obviously a lot of people are at the moment. The first time, just get in touch and that's fine. And then if you need a repeat visit, you can ask someone from your school or your GP, someone like that, just to refer on your behalf. But it's really easy and simple.
That's fantastic. And do you also actually, just come to think of it, do you see almost like a bit of an exchange program then, almost just like people are bringing the 2 to 3 back but taking 4 to 5 away? Is that sort of something that you will also sort of see, the giving and taking element that comes with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we've had a family through and if they no longer need it and the clothes are still in good nick and ready to go back out, then absolutely that's a great kind of recycling option. And I think it's so lovely, like you say, it's coming from the generosity of Oxford and then it's just being poured straight back into the community. That's really lovely.
Yeah, no, it really is. No, it really is. And like I say, it's I'd say it's a great thing. It's a great thing that there's something there for someone, and like I say, being in the infancy like you are, we need to get it in front of people that need to hear about it, need to see it, and if that's through word of mouth from something from this to the next person, then we've done good. And like I say, I think there's just a lot to give, and you can definitely tell that you're sort of passionate about it. the hard work that you have that you put in. And it was your colleague Josh as well, wasn't it? If I remember right, is there a couple of you that worked the project essentially then, Becki?
Yeah, so I'm pretty new to it. I moved down to Oxford in August last year and kind of got involved with it as a volunteer just to meet people. And so Josh has been involved a bit longer than me, and he's part of the Church Hope Oxford.
Right.
So they started Small Steps because they'd noticed that there wasn't any resource for kids. So it's kind of just filling a little niche that isn't covered by the other amazing charities in the city.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, fantastic. And like I say, we'll put all the links to Small Steps, you know, how you can get involved, the address. I mean, fingers crossed, come Monday, there should be some good, I say good news. Who
Got high expectations.
Who are we to know? Who are we to know? But, you know, there are a few expectations, I think, from everyone as we look at the daily numbers and what's going on.
Amazing.
Let's keep an eye out for sort of Monday, and if that allows for a bit more flexibility in relation to people getting involved and say providing donations and coming down to there, then great. And as ever, we'll put all the links we need to, so people can get in contact with you and ask the questions they need to. And like I say, if they need to ask for help, then they've got a contact to go to as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
No trouble at all. Thanks so much for your time, Becki. I wish you well.
Thanks, Dan.
Cheers. Bye-bye.